Is it woke? Yes, in the sense that it is a feminist film and the word patriarchy is dropped at least once. But is it a good movie? No. It's an exceptional movie, a variety of which is rarely seen in American cinema anymore for many years, but increasingly is seen in Europe and Asia. This is Polite Society 2023.
I am going to be a stunt woman.
My sister Lena is the only person who believes in me.
This tale of two sisters, one yearns to be a famous artist, one yearns to be a famous stunt woman. They have non-traditional ambitions, though they are in a relatively traditional Muslim Indian family and are obviously women. Much of the film is about the pressures of young women to conform, especially in relatively religious and traditionalist societies, to certain standards they may or may not agree with. When it comes around to wedding and family later in the movie, even the big bad villain, who happens to be a woman, is only that way because of the patriarchy, and she's looking for a way to create a different outcome for herself. This story would be literally nothing but crying and word vomit if it had been made in the United States, but instead it is an incredible story about these women that you get to know them, you get to know the girls at their school, there's a bully, there's character growth, the bully comes to understand them better, they understand themselves and their life better, there's a whole action-adventure sequence and the must-rescue sister storyline. I am a white, Christian, radically conservative, monarchist American, and these two Indian Muslim women in this story absolutely are people I could empathize with and relate to. This movie is so well done that at those high points of tension in the story, I wanted to skip forward and see if they rescue her because it was done so well and everything is piling up against the one sister. What a story. And yes, they throw out the word patriarchy, but it is more of a classically feminist film. Nobody stops to give elaborate sermons about their oppression to anyone, especially the audience. The fact that our big bad villain in the story is using her past oppression and the patriarchy as sort of an excuse for her evil deeds actually puts it in a gray area where you might empathize with her, but you might also see where it could go awry if you emphasize it too much. It really is a double-edged sword that is brilliantly presented. And in the full scope of the film and the character growth and the way that the young women come to grips with their own identity and their dreams about their future, what we find is not anything as simple as they were always being held back by the patriarchy or society or custom or tradition or religion. One goes on apparently going down the road to fulfilling all of her goals and dreams. One who had doubts about herself, turns out it wasn't because other people were doing it to her. Set free at the end, she still has doubts about her direction, and that's okay. She can go any way that she wants. That's the point. Very clever use of the subtle Oedipus complex, that is, men putting expectations upon their wives because of standards set by their mothers, and also the pressure from the older generation to make grandkids for them. The way that it is strung into the villainy and insidiousness of the story, this is smooth. An exceptionally overall crafted narrative that is classic vintage quality storytelling that draws you in. You are caught up in it and you empathize with these characters. It transcends all culture and history and religion or even language. I really wish we saw a lot more of this in cinema everywhere.
You are going to be such a great stunt woman. That was dope, look.